create a different government, like what mechanism would even allow the U.S. or Israel to dictate who governs? I've been trying to figure that out.
I don't know if Israel dictates so much as approves or disapproves.
Right. So let's say we're still in charge. What is Israel going to do? Go back in?
Yeah. I mean, I have every confidence that Israel will be back in Gaza in 5 or 6 months, if not sooner. I just see that. I don't see anybody stopping here.
Caleb, I agree with you. You know, you sound so much different than prior to October 6th.
I'm not. I'm actually not.
Yeah,
I'm not.
In listening to you, it sounds so different. And then I've heard you say you're not. I'm not trying to disparage you in any way whatsoever. I more agree with you now than I ever did. So I'm trying to figure out, have you changed? Have I changed? Like, if we met in the middle? Like, I'm trying to figure that out.
I don't perceive myself to have changed my views that much. It is a new reality after October 7th. That's true. Trying to be pragmatic as I always try to be. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe your pragmatism is just more aligned with my pragmatism.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I ask a question?
Questions at the end.
You just did.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Lauren, I'm kidding. And go ahead.
Oh, hey, let's welcome Masri to the stage.
Cool. Look, and it really is a question. And I have no side of it or anything. I just am interested to hear stuff. So there's obviously, and I don't know too much about it. I've been watching the news. I sit in South Africa, so I think we get a lot of skewed information. But again, with the ceasefire, I mean, is there part of it that says what happened in October last year? Is part of that says whoever was held during that will be released? Or is it just like you can choose who to release and you get to choose who gets pardoned? So I just want to understand, is there something for the family that could have some hope afterwards, knowing the hostages from October?
If this is what you asked, none of the people that were arrested that were participating in 7th of October will be released. Like, they are exempt from this list. If you're talking about the Palestinian prisoners.
No. I'm talking about the children, the people of Israel that were taken. That's what I'm talking about. Like, they are clearly children. Like,
they're in the first wave.
Elderly,
elderly, sick, and children and women, I believe, are in the first 34, I want to say.
33.
30, thank you.
It was 34, but we got one back dead yesterday.
Oh, yes?
Not yesterday, sorry, 3 days ago.
Sorry, and then my next question is, if they are found to be deceased but handed over, is that still a fair bid? I know I don't even know how to use the word, so I'm terribly sorry, but what I'm saying is...
Does it count as a living person, is what you're saying?
Not a living person. Does it count as a person?
Yeah, to the number. I think they would claim it, yes, and Israel would say no. I mean...
Okay, so that's why, basically my answer is, have they gone that deep in the ceasefire to clarify?
Well, out of the 33, some of them are dead, we don't know. So the key for the first 33 is already set. And then for the second wave, which is the second wave, the second phase should be all the living hostages, which we don't know who they are. And then the third wave will be the dead one. But we did not determine the ratio for those people yet. This will be determined from the 16th day of the ceasefire.
Wait, Lauren, before you ask any other questions, I got a question for you. In the beginning of your questions, you said you have no particular opinion on either side, and that you get skewed information in South Africa, why can't you pick a side and be on the side of the Israelis, in this situation?
Okay, so maybe I didn't choose my words right, and I'm going to be honest with you. I've been heavily attacked on this platform. Um,
Can you repeat the last part?
Sorry, heavily attacked on this platform. I don't come into these rooms often. I come in to learn. So I'm very hesitant because of the backlash we get. I get heavily backlashed as a white South African who obviously had apartheid in South Africa. I also get the fact of that apartheid is something that they're calling it in Palestine. So I'm only protecting myself when I speak because I'm so used to the backlash. I'm not somebody who works in the political spheres at all. If you look at my profile, I work in sports. So when I come into rooms, I try and understand. I say it because I'm trying not to be attacked. I get attacked a lot just for being a South African. So I do apologize that I'm apologizing for that. But I will also let you know that a lot of my friends are Israelis. I have been doing Shabbos my whole life, even though I'm not Jewish. My kid is going to go in a school in term 2, a Jewish school, so I'm very for it. I just have to make sure that I always have to put it forward in a room before I'm absolutely attacked. So I hope that makes sense.
You have your own point of views. I don't think you need to come in one way or another. Just be yourself.
And that was exactly it. I came in asking a question. So I wanted to understand it. And I am a mother. And we get sent a lot of stuff on Facebook. Especially there were 2 children that came up on my feed again today that were part of October, where the dad, I'm not sure if he passed away, was taken away, but it was 2 very young children and a mother. And that just holds in me as a mother. So I look at it and go, like, how do they look at this exchange of people in a treaty or not a treaty, in a you give me this, I give you that? Like, I mean, that's all good and well, but are you giving them alive? And I think that's an important thing to look at if people are not digging deep into what is the agreement with I give you 1, you give me 2, I give you 1, I give you 1, as an example.
But what is the point in micromanaging or microanalyzing a prisoner exchange or swap? I mean, what is your point in bringing up the question?
Well, I'm hoping that they're alive is pretty much my question. So I'm hoping that this exchange is life for life, not body for body, is pretty much what I'm asking.
Yes, I hope so too. But I think that, yeah, what you're touching on is the craziness of Hamas dictating these insane terms. It's like we're in a bizarro land. 1 minute it's a genocide, the next minute they're handing out candy and celebrating and saying we won. It's amazing the way they're able to say, yeah, we'll negotiate for these hostages, but we won't tell you if they're alive or dead. I mean, it's like a logic of insanity. So that's my 2 cents on that topic. Thank you.
And Randy, I completely agree. So that is exactly my point. Like, do we know, are we doing, and I don't mean to trivialize it with apples and pears, but I mean, are we making a deal, or are they making a deal that is, I mean, there's families here, and there's families that have been holding out for ages, and are we putting false hope?
It's amazing how like Australians and South Africans sound very similar. It's hard to distinguish between the two. I
Which
wonder
I just
why
don't know, so I don't know
linguistically.
how, I mean, I don't want to be negative, so I'm going to, not contribute further. You raised some good points, but I'm not sure how much we can really explore them until we know these things.
Look, Lauren,
We need all
one
of
of the
them,
things,
the dead and the alive.
yeah, one of the things, Lauren, is that the psychological warfare will continue throughout the stages of this deal, rest assured, right? So part of the game for Hamas is still being like, well, we don't know, we won't tell you, we're going to hang you on the hook, and because we know that you value life, so we're going to string you along. That's all part of the mix.
And I'm sure you didn't mean game, and I'm with you because I was talking about something completely different, not in this room, sorry, just with a client. And it kind of goes back, and it's a totally different subject, but I'm saying it's like Squid Games meet Hunger Games. And like, may the best man win. And that is just so barbaric. So anyway, I'll keep quiet. I just wanted to ask that question. I just wanted to understand. So thank you. I really enjoy listening. I really enjoy being educated. I just, while I Google and read, I never heard that. Hence, I wanted to ask the question. So thank you very much.
Sorry to bring this up again, but what Jakob said, Caleb, I think you actually have changed your point of view somewhat, or I think it has a potential of kind of sending some ripple effects on the other positions that you might have. Because I would highly doubt that you would be aligned in terms of your sentiment with, with a politically correct crowd or like Ben Mendelsohn's crowd. So I think you did adjust somewhat. It is actually a good thing. That means that you're flexible enough that the new information that comes in, you react to it rather than just keeping your, dogma if you had one before.
I mean, I was never in the Ben Mendelsohn crowd, right? Like, I think I'm pretty centrist. If there was a Labor Party, I would vote for them. But they don't, like I said, I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, you guys mean it as a compliment. I'll take it that way.
Most definitely.
I understand.
So was this the Biden administration that did it, or was it the Trump administration?
Both. It was both.
It was the Mar-a-Lago speech and his envoy, whatever that guy's name is. Apparently, he's a miracle maker. The Biden administration will just take claim and credit for anything, and they just posted on social media. They're leaving. They're gone. They're done. They're checked out. Everything is hinging on the Trump ascendancy, this grand phoenix rising, which is striking terror and fear into all the enemies and terrorists of the Middle East.
Yeah.
I heard that he also sort of manhandled Bibi, like Trump is negotiation, Bibi.
How do you think Blinken fared in all this? Is he like a Nether Chamberlain or whatever? Was he an ineffective State Department leader, or was he very effective?
honestly think this all really started with Obama, with Ukraine specifically. You know, he said that there was going to be like a red line, and they really failed with like their policies ever since 2014. So I think she's been an extension of the Obama regime, and Biden took over the managerial state. So yeah, that's like my.
I mean, what do you think about Trump and Obama being chummy? Like, I get the idea that Obama is an incredibly intelligent and flexible person and a very shrewd communicator and politician, but I don't trust him. I think he's a dirty dog and a filthy snake.
I think his star power is gone. Honestly, like for the time and age of like 2008, I think he was like sort of like the right candidate for the job. But yeah, nowadays, no, I think his star power is just gone. Like, yeah.
Obama gave a speech a couple weeks ago about pluralism and how we have to protect pluralism. Talk about communication and using words, out of the thin blue air and saying there's something. It's Obama's specialty is to talk about nothing and make you think it's about everything.
Yeah, like like all communication is hypnosis. So
Exactly. And I get the feeling that like you're using a voice synthesizer and you're not even a woman, and that's a very, effective deception there. I could
Imagine a financial app that lets you spend, save, and invest like never before.
I return to the deal.
You cannot sign for him. I need.
They kicked me from the room.
Learn about somebody that, if you look at my Facebook feed, right? We're out fishing. My son's out fishing. Maybe I like to fish. So you can find things to do together and even go bowling. Like, you're going to teach me how to bowl.
He's on the phone. But keep going. And hey, Brett.
I like things that the men can teach me something how to do. You want to go golfing? I'm the worst golfer in the world.
There's stuff though, right? There's a line in which men should know a little bit about women, but once you cross that line, it's fucking creepy stalker mode. Like, men don't care if women stalk them. Y'all care, just like gay men. If men stalk you, it's fucking creepy. And the problem is that they'll do the same amount of stalking that we do, but will receive it as creepy. So don't encourage him to overstock, because then he's going to be like, oh, I picked a fishing date because I saw on your Facebook you fish. And she's going to be like, what the fuck? You've been looking at my Facebook, you creepy weirdo. And then the whole vibe is gone because Beth said to stop.
Don't stalk the fucking socials. Also, clean up your socials, man. Clean them up. We're looking. Clean them up. Don't you dare look at our
cat videos.
Yes, don't customize the date based around what you're seeing on my socials.
Please be yourself, though, Captain. Hey, Captain, please. On my Facebook. Jeez, not big pictures. Hey, Captain, just be yourself, though, overall, though, because you don't need to try to be something you're not, though. You're gonna have to continue to do that.
I've been there, done.
And that's,
Been there,
yeah, don't try to
done. I ain't
keep
trying to do
up
that
with something
again.
be yourself. Remind yourself of that the whole time, too. Just be yourself. If they don't like who you are, then they don't deserve you.
And then here's my other point about the dinner thing on the first date. Try not to go for you and for her, because try not to go overboard, because the last thing you want to do is like, excuse me, I need to use the lavatory. Get up from a stimulating conversation, and then spend the next 30 minutes trying to figure out how you're going to clean the bottom of your pants in the of whatever restaurant. And you definitely don't want to eat something that's going to like make the entire room gaseous and nauseous with odors. So like, you know, light meals are really great. Snacking along the way, like you're in Charleston, take her for what is it? Go to like Pier 1 Landing, Ellen's homemade ice cream places out there, like antique ice cream. Take her for a small.
Yeah, Ellen's is a really good little ice cream place.
Like,
Not
make sure she's not
Charleston,
lactose
South
intolerant.
Carolina. There is no slightly north of Broad, sir. Whoever is in that chat. No. This is Charleston, West Virginia. That ain't no. He's not describing that. I'm sorry. I have to clarify for misinformation in the chat.
How did they know?
West Virginia. Yeah, that's it.
There's only 5 last names, so we want to make sure he's.
There's more than 5 last names.
All right, there's 6.
I didn't even think of Ellen's. That's a really good idea, though. Ellen's is a really good idea.
But that's for dessert. That's a nice like
Yeah.
water. Like
Weird.
you know, like you don't have to
Amazing.
go overboard. Like someone said, the money thing is not the object. It's what you do with it. And if you keep her talking with you, and you're not involving like what did you say earlier? All the old ladies love you, so they're always going to be in your conversation. So you're going to have like 20 people. You want her talking with you and having a good time, laughing with you. Be funny, be witty, be memorable. Do something, but don't do something stupid.
You know what else is really fun to do is take her to a downtown street where there's a lot of little boutiques and used bookstores, something like that. I'm sure the 7 last name people have little stores like that still.
Yeah, I
Right?
could take her down Capitol Street. That's where Ellen's
Yeah,
is.
and
It's
like
right on
that's
that
what
street.
we did a lot. We just hit Brevard, Hendersonville, Asheville. Like we just hit all these cool little towns, right? Like Haywood Road, River Arts District before it was destroyed. But like we would just it would help on conversation and memory, and we got to know each other a lot. And you're picking out like, oh yeah, look at this. Do you remember this? You know, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. For me, that was a lot of fun. Used bookstores especially, because then you can see how intelligent they are.
And don't tell her you're a painter. Don't tell her you're an artist. Let her.
Yeah, not
discover.
yet. Correct.
Don't tell her anything. Like even if she doesn't know by the 3rd date, don't tell her. Let her discover it on her own. Because one of the most boring things, and I'll say this from my perspective, is when I get a regurgitation of their entire life story and I absolutely know everything within 15 minutes. If there's nothing for me to discover, then like, and then I look and I'm like, oh, hey, painter, lives with mom, has cats, checked out. But let her discover. Like you don't have to talk about your cats. If she says you have pets, you just kind of say
I
that.
don't really talk about my cats.
Okay, and don't tell her about paint. Just like let her discover it on her own. She'll be fascinated. She'll be like, oh wow, I really like this. And you go, well, thank you, I appreciate that. And then she'll be like, you painted this? And then all of a sudden her eyes go through, her hand will reach for yours. And you'll just be like, your chest will pop out, your balls will drop, they'll clang like brass bells, and you'll be happy as a pig in shit. Like I'm telling you, it works.
Listen, Seth is go ahead, but hold on, no, Seth is a watercolorist, and he didn't disclose how talented he was to me until like, I don't know, date 6, 7, and you know what we did? We went to the art store, we painted together, and he is like, it was so awesome. So yeah, hold that shit back. It'll come out time. Go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so this gentleman I've been talking to here locally, right, met him just organically at a restaurant, and we were both having lunch, but we've been talking for about 6 months, and he invited me over. I said, all right, I'm going to pick up, are we watching football? Because one, he used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm like, okay, I'll pick up a pizza and wings. And he was like, no girl has ever said that to me. Well, that's the girl I am. And then when I got there, I understood why he said it, because he told me that his friend said that girl is way above your level. And he's like, I got to tell my friends that we met at a restaurant, the same restaurant, and you're bringing pizza and wings to my house. Like, okay, just be yourself. Be normal.
When is it appropriate to ask a woman if she likes anal?
Oh my God.
Ever.
Really, Sean?
Oh my God.
Do not listen to anything that Sean says on this. Just based on the first comment.
Year was yesterday because his birthday's today. What the fuck, Sean?
Sean, you know damn well that's after the third time. That's when you break out the other thing.
After the third time. Oh my god.
Fucking never.
Hey, she said
Pro tip, you just say it slipped, okay? Go in like P. Diddy and
No,
just say it
we're
slipped.
not doing that. You said that. I was looking in the audience, see who the fuck like hope. No. Sean.
Wait, Hills. Come on, let's be fair. Hey, you got to get past that first awkward phase of like how you guys are in bed. So it's usually like the third time, and then you figure out how big a freak she is, and then you just go with it.
I mean, this is true, and I'm not denying it. But oh my God, Sean.
Yeah, come on, Sean. Don't do the Sean's this way. You can't do
Where's
this.
our fucking shit of Sean?
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. Hills, I apologize.
It's fine. I'm just blushing here and sweating. Shut up. Just switch topic. How's everyone's disaster in L?
We don't know.
I know. We're more interested in anal, aren't we?
And Sean, for the first, if she's like right away, then you know that it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. You just gotta bail out, man. You're not gonna like it.
Yeah, Sean, actually, I was going to say, yeah, if she's giving it up real quick, I mean, you might want to, I don't know, and that's what you're looking for, but if you're looking for something long-term, I mean, you're going to have, I don't know, I have much more respect for a woman that's going to be with you for a while before she even goes there with you. I mean, maybe I'm different from other men, but you're talking to someone who maybe doesn't get it very often, but I've been in 2 relationships, one that was for 18 years and one for 13. Well, one currently 13 going on 14 in March. So I'm just going to say to you that you want someone who's not just easy to give it up to you. You know, you want someone who you have to work, you know, you work for it, and you need to be yourself. Don't be something you can't keep up with. That's really important. So I think a lot of people try to do more than they can handle.
It was just a joke, and to Hill's point, we can move away from it.
No, I was totally joking back. Like I'm trolling back too. I'm joking.
I love all the advice, just so y'all know.
There's nothing wrong with
TikTok. It's been 5 years since I've been in a relationship, and I mean, so it's been like 8 years since I've been on an actual date, even.
And Captain, here's the other thing too. Take a shower beforehand. Clean yourself up. Smell nice, but don't do overpowering. Don't bathe in fucking cologne.
No.
I know. Same guys like me.
I don't like strong smells, so like I'm a one spritz kind of guy, anyways.
No,
honestly,
I hate that. I hate that because if I have to sit next to you and I can smell her 15 different scents on, from her hair soap to her body soap to her facial soap to like whatever fucking chemicals she put on her face that day to the 15 different sprays that she's got on, and then all of a sudden I got to smell the same for you, I'm going to be like, damn. And I'm going to start picking on you. And I'm going to do it vocally. Like, man, this is how a gas chamber must feel like back in like the 20s. Jesus Christ, this reminds me of the 80s and the Aquanet days going into the bathroom. I mean, you got to tone it down.
yeah, like I don't want to taste the way you smell, right? So, like, really nice soap is fine.
Are we giving him advice like
We
something
are.
about Mary that he's going to go and whack off in the shower? Is that wrong?
Ness, don't rub one out before the date, because then you get satiated and then you're just like, whatever, you're not pursuing.
And she's not the one, okay? This is not the one. She may be nice and cool and get your jokes and shit. She's not the one. This is just the first one. Good lucks.
And when you kiss her, don't maw her face off. Do it like slow. Give her anticipation. Don't go right in for her, the kill right away. You're not a fucking Roman gladiator. Like, get her to like want to. You go part of the way, she comes forward. You kind of tease her. You take a step back, and then you go away. And just give her that romantic. Oh, sorry. You give her that romantic. Give her that romance. Because, like, again, here's one thing I will say on this app that I have discovered in 4 years. A lot of you younger men have no fucking clue what it is to romance a woman. to give her passion, to get all those things. What you know how to do is probably pick up a girl, knock boots for the day, and then you're bitching about how all the women are sluts. But you yourselves cannot fucking create romance and give her a sense of adventure, passion, and anticipation. Make her anticipate. Make her want it. Make her drive for it. Don't be like so fucking nuts. And don't be a prude. And that goes for you guys in their relationships as well. You know, take your wife out, take your girlfriend out, go do something, like get her anticipated. Tell her like, hey, here, you know, one of the greatest things you could do, buy her a dress, lay it on the bed, here's a box, gift wrap it, put a card, and then just make sure when she gets home you got time. Say, hey, in 2 hours I'll be back to pick you up.
Damn.
And don't tell her anything else. Just give her
that
romance, give her something, and take her someplace that matches the fucking
No one
dress.
could tell.
Okay, so y'all couldn't hear me for like the last 5 minutes, but I could hear everything y'all were saying.
I couldn't even tell.
I was in a not too great service area. I do want to point out that I don't like strong smells. I'm a one spritz kind of guy, and one of the reasons why I'm like that is because you want them. This is my understanding. You don't want to overpower your cologne because
Bubble boy.
if you have a nice smelling cologne, but it's not like too overpowering, when they get close to you, they'll want to lean in close to smell it a little bit better, and it'll bring them closer to you. And that's kind of the goal, is to bring them closer to you. So yeah, you don't got to worry about me not showering beforehand. I'm a very clean person.
You shower. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I always shower before a date. Make sure that I dress appropriately for where we are going. I try not to overdress or underdress. But then again, I'm also not the type of person that, like, yeah, right now I might have jeans and a hoodie on, but if I'm going out and doing something with friends, I try to put, you know, a nice shirt on, and, you know, I try to look decent. I'm not one of these, I only wear jeans, t-shirts, and boots all the time kind of guy either. And I do get the romance. My baby mom, she went away while we were together for a month. And when she came back, the night she came back, we'd been together for about 6 months at the time. The night she came back, I had petals. We'd been living together too at this time. I had rose petals leading into the bedroom with a necklace on the bed. I had cooked shrimp Alfredo from scratch. We had wine, and it was, yeah, I'm good at the whole romance thing. I had really good sex that night.
Okay, well, I'm glad you got your nut off. Here's another thing. On this date, do not talk about your child to the extent. Do not refer to your child's mother as baby mama, and do not talk about baby mama. Just if you do get asked, say yes, I have a child. It's with a woman. That relationship failed. Do not demonize the other woman. Don't say she's batshit crazy. Don't say anything negative. Just say, we decided that it was in the best interest of both of us to pursue different courses in life. And
see, we've already had some of this banter too, back and forth from where I'm a Lyft driver. I've given her a ride a couple times, so she's already learned a little bit about me. Like she asked if I had a kid, and I said yeah. Asked her if she would like to see her, see what she looks like, and I willingly showed her, and she told me my daughter was beautiful. She asked how my relationship was with my ex, and when I'm talking to another girl, that's what I refer to her as, not my baby mom, my ex. When I'm amongst friends, I refer to as baby mom. She asked what happened, or she asked if, she didn't ask what happened, she asked if we had a good relationship, and I was like, yeah, we have a much better relationship now that we're not together. She asked
good.
If I get my kid often.
You don't need to tell everybody else in the clubhouse what your story is. But what you want to do is leave that off the table then. You've already discussed it. It's done. It's over with. You don't need to talk about it. It's already through. Don't talk about it for the rest of the night. And answer direct questions. If she asks, like, oh, you know, how's your child doing? Oh, or he or she's doing fucking great. Don't say fucking, but just say they're doing fantastic. How are things going? Redirect the question back onto her.
Okay.
Who's going on date? You going on date, Capitan?
Yeah, hopefully soon. We got numbers, and as long as she texts me, it'll be.
Okay, look, man.
And
What kind of cologne are you wearing?
KP, he's not wearing gin and tonic as a cologne, no matter how many times you wear it.
Look, you get out the shower. Don't dry yourself completely off. You want to be damp, okay? Then you spray your cologne. You walk through it so it gets soaked into your pores. So then, when you get into those nervous moments, like a hug, your pores will open up and she will breathe all those pheromones with a cologne. Boom, you got her. You got her.
That's one I heard before. That's a good one.
Make sure you have a lot of spare ones so that if you want to go to the strip club, let her, make it rain.
I'm not taking her to the strip club.
Oh my god, I thought that was Sean saying that. Jesus.
Now, what you want to do,
you should
let's say you go out with,
you got it?
what's your budget for the night? What's your budget?
I mean, I'm not gonna go like super expensive, but
Well, you have to set a budget.
probably like somewhere between 150 and 2.
Because if you set a budget, that's going to tell her that you're disciplined. You're disciplined with your finances. So she's going to look at that. She's going to like, well, he's disciplined.
No,
So now
I
you
never looked at that. What are you talking about?
Oh shit, you're gonna tell her that brain clitoris. You gotta get that clitoris in the brain going before you get the clitoris downstairs going.
Yeah, but he's not trolling the fucking EBT lines at the fucking welfare office. I mean, come on.
Fred, you out there fucking wolves bareback, okay?
So that's a good point. What works for us in our areas may not work for him. So yeah, just keep the simple, stupid
Oh, Bradley's Midwest.
Go for the strip clubs.
I'm not Midwest. I'm the northernmost southern state. I'm in West Virginia, but
Yeah, so you gotta get her mindset to say, hey, he can handle finances.
Okay, this is Zohar Shabbat Kabbalah Torah study with Adrian. Okay, Robert, what up? This is Zohar Shabbat Kabbalah Torah study. I'm going to read from the Zohar. The Zoya. Here we go. Hope you enjoy. Hope you're having a fabulous day. Tony Soprano is here. Mr. Soprano, welcome to the room. It's an honor to have such
How's it going?
It's an honor to have such an auspicious Italian amongst us.
Appreciate it.
You know what my favorite Tony Soprano quote is?
Oh, what is that?
Fuck it. Do whatever you want.
Fuck it. Yes, sir. And I feel like Tony Soprano and Adolf Hitler had so much in common.
Probably not. Because, I don't know, Adolf Hitler was like obsessed with the country, and Tony Soprano was obsessed with himself. I guess, yeah, maybe they're both narcissists. That's neither here nor there. Beware, the Zohar is near. Rabbono Shalom. Ribono Shalom. Okay, we're going to start this podcast off with a good old Shema. Never fails. Hope you enjoy. Ribono Shalom.
If you have to spend money to hit the jackpot, just leave that. This is Cash Frenzy. It is.
This is part of my Shabbos Torah study series. All hail Zenamini. I'm about to do a book reading. If you can live stream my room onto YouTube and record it for me, wow, how auspicious of you.
Hey John, what would you think of that? Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, dude, I had no idea. I mean, I had my suspicions, but when you said all communication is hypnosis, I was like, oh, that's Chris. It sounded like you, too. It sounded like you as a woman. It had your speech pattern.
It did. It definitely. That's like the one thing you have to like change your speech patterns. So, but besides that, like it's pretty legit. It's pretty cool. Like it's another way like you can like subterfuge, be subversive. It's really be a god troll.
If you are trying to change your speech pattern, one way is to speak a lot slower, but then another way is instead of like raising your words, like that would be one aspect, is to like raise your words at the end with every word, or you could do the opposite and go dun dun everyone dun. Like there's ways to like change the inflection. So what do you have? You have speed of speech,
the cadence.
I don't know, maybe even trying to hide it like by using like an Australian accent, an English accent, an Indian, you know, like there's ways to obfuscate even deeper, like a 3-level deep.
See, like I've never really done accents that well. Like I'm a little autistic when it comes to just, you know, speaking like my own like English, you know, it's hard.
Well, you're just so used to speaking like yourself. If you were to like hop into a Hindu Dindu room and then try to create your own Hindu Dindu room, and you practiced it, you would eventually have an exceptional Indian accent. And then you could use this Indian accent using the voice neural net, and then you would sound like plural. Then you would become a Hindu Dindu nationalist and try to kick out all the terrorist Muslim sympathizers out into Pakistan. And then you would become a master of the communication of deception.
Yeah, that'd be nice, especially like do some subterfuge up in Canada. You know, in Brampton, Canada. It's more like Khalistan. The amount of Indians that are there, so I could do some trolling for sure. But yeah, I'll listen into the Zohar for sure.
Yeah, if you could put me up on the big board and record the room and put it on YouTube, like that would be so cool. Because I want to become the deep state, so I want you to like troll me, and then I want you to get so good at trolling I won't even know that it's you, and then you will become a member of Ra's al Ghul's secret society to make Batman and Bane cool people. Okay, let us continue our Torah Shabbos study. Please invite people to the room. Rabbeinu Shalom. we're gonna do the Selichot Sefradik Yerushalmi Tradizione.
לאדוני אלוהינו הרחמים והסליחות לאדוני אלוהינו הרחמים והסליחות אל נא תשת עלינו חטאת חטאנו צורנו סלח לנו יוצרנו סלח לנו יוצרנו שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד אדוני הוא האלוהים.
Okay, Chris, hope you're recording this. That was the introductory music. This is my Shabbalah Kabbalah Torah study. We will be reading from Zohar. This is called The Beginning. In the beginning, when the will of the king began to take effect, he engraved signs into the heavenly sphere that surrounded him. Within the most hidden recess, a dark flame issued from the mystery of Ein Sof, the infinite, like a fog forming in the unformed. Enclosed in the ring of that sphere, neither white nor black, neither red nor green, of no color whatever. Only after this flame began to assume size and dimension did it produce radiant colors. From the innermost center of the flame sprang forth a well out of which colors issued and spread upon everything beneath, hidden in the mysterious hiddenness of Ein Sof. The well broke through and yet did not break through the ether of the sphere. It could not be recognized at all until a hidden supernal point shone forth under the impact of the final breaking through. Subnote, this primordial point is identified by the Zohar with the wisdom of God, Chokmah, and the ideal thought of creation. Beyond this point, nothing can be known. Therefore, it is called Reshit, or Reshit, beginning, the first word out of 10, by means of which the universe has been created. Isn't that interesting? The universe has been creating by reshitting. Okay, this is called The Universe Shall and kernel. When King Solomon penetrated into the depths of the nut garden, as it is written, all of a sudden the Zohar is becoming very funny. I descended into the garden of nuts, from the book of C-A-N-T, Cant. He took up a nutshell, and studying it, he saw an analogy in its layers with the spirits which motivate the sensual desires of humans, as it is written, and the delights of the sons of men are from male and female demons. Ecclesiastes 2:8. I don't know what the Cant book is, if that's Canticles or something. What, I don't know what book that is. I'm sure it's a quote from the Bible, right? Cant? What is that? The Holy One, be blessed, saw that it was necessary to put into the world all of these things so as to make sure of permanence, and of having, so to speak, a brain surrounded by numerous membranes. The whole world, upper and lower, is organized on this principle, from the primary mystic center to the very outermost of all the layers. All are coverings, the one to the other, brain within brain, spirit inside of spirit, shell within shell. The primal center is the innermost light of a translucent subtlety and purity beyond comprehension. That inner point extended becomes a palace, which acts as an enclosure for the center, and is also of a radiance translucent beyond the power to know it. The palace vestment for the incognizable inner point, while it is an unknowable radiance in itself, is nevertheless of a less subtlety and translucency than the primal point. The palace extends into a vestment for itself, the primal light. From then outward there is an extension upon extension, each constituting a vesture to the one before as a membrane to the brain. Though membrane first, each extension becomes brain to the next extension. Likewise does the process go on below. And after this design, man in the world combines brain and membrane, spirit and body, all to the more perfect ordering of the world. When the moon was conjoined with the sun, she was luminous, but when she went apart from the sun, and was given governance over her own host, her status and her light were reduced, and shell after shell was fashioned for investing the brain, and all was for its good, the first light. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. Genesis 1:3. This is the primal light which God made. It is the light of the eye. This light God showed to Adam, and by means of it he was enabled to see from end to end of the world. This light God showed to David, and he, beholding it, sang forth his praise, saying, O how abundant is thy goodness, which thou hast laid up for them that fear thee. Psalm 31:20. This is the light through which God revealed to Moses the land of Israel from Gilead to Dan. Foreseeing the rise of three sinful generations, the generation of Enoch, the generation of the flood, and the generation of the Tower of Babel, God put away the light from their enjoyment. Then he gave it to Moses in the time that his mother was hiding him. For the first 3 months after his birth, when Moses was taken before Pharaoh, God took it from him, and did not give it again until he stood upon the Mount of Sinai to receive the Torah. Thenceforth Moses had it for his until the end of his life, and therefore he could not be approached by the Israelites until he had put a veil upon his face. Exodus 34:33. Let there be light, and there was light. Genesis 1:3. To whatsoever the word vayehi, and there was, is applied, that thing is in this world and the world to come. Rabbi Isaac said, at the creation, God irradiated the world from end to end with the light, but then it was withdrawn, so as to deprive the sinners of the world of its enjoyment, and it is stored away for the righteous, as it stands written, light is sown for the righteous. Then will the worlds be in harmony, and all will be united into one. But until the future world is set up, this light is put away and hidden. This light emerged from the darkness, which was hewed out by the strokes of the most secret. And likewise from the light which was hidden away through some secret path, there was hewed out the darkness of the lower world in which inheres light. This lower darkness is called night. In the verse, and the darkness he called night. Genesis 1:5. Creation of man. Rabbi Simeon then rose and spoke in meditating. I have perceived that when God was about to create man, then above and below all creatures commenced to tremble. The course of the 6th day was unfolding when at last the divine decision was made. Then there blazed forth the source of all lights, and opened up the gate of the east from where light flows. The light which had been bestowed on it at the beginning, the south gave forth in full glory, and the south took hold upon the east. The east took hold on the north, and the north awakened upon opening forth, called loud to the west that he should come to him. Then the west traveled up into the north and came together with it, and after that the south took hold on the west, and the north and the south surrounded the garden, being its fences. Then the east drew near to the west, and the west was gladdened, and it said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, to embrace like us the 4 quarters and the higher and the lower. Thereupon were east and west united, and produced man. Therefore have our sages said that man arose out from the site of the temple. Whatever we may regard the words, let us make man, as conveying this to the lower beings who derive from the side of the upper world, God disclosed the secret of how to form the divine name Adam, in which is encompassed the upper and the lower in the force of its 3 letters of Aleph, Dalet, and Mem final. When the 3 letters had come down below, there was perceived in their form complete the name Adam to comprehend male and female. The female was fastened to the side of the male, and God cast the male into a deep slumber, and he lay on the side of the temple. God then cut the female from him, and decked her as a bride, and led her to him, as it is written, and he took one of his sides and closed up the place with flesh. Genesis 2:21. In the ancient books I have seen it said that here the word one means one woman. That is the original Lilith, who lay with him and from him conceived. But up to that time she was no help to him, as it is said, but for Adam there was not found an help meet for him. Genesis 2:20. Adam then was the very last, for it was right that he should find the world complete when he made his appearance. No shrub of the field was yet in the earth. Genesis 2:5. Rabbi Simeon went on to say the allusion is to the magnificent trees which grew later, but as yet were minute. Adam and Eve, as we have said, were created side by side. Why not face to face? For the reason that heaven and earth were not yet in complete harmony. The Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth. Genesis 2:5. When the lower union was rendered perfect and Adam and Eve turned face to face, then was the upper union perfected. This we may know from the matter of the tabernacle. For we have learned that together with it there was put up another tabernacle. Nor was the upper one raised until the lower one was erected, and so it was in this case. Moreover, inasmuch as all above was not yet perfectly ordered, Adam and Eve were not created face to face. This is borne out by the order of the verses in the Scripture. First it is written, For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth. And following, there was not a man to till the ground. And it signifies that man was yet imperfect, for only when Eve was made perfect was he then made perfect too. Further proof is that in the word Vayiskor, and he closed, there occurs for the first time in this passage the letter Samach, which signifies support, as much as to say that male and female they now supported the one the other. In likewise do the lower world and the upper sustain each other. Not only the lower world was made perfect, was the other world also made perfect. When the lower world was made to support the upper by being turned face to face with it, the world was then finished. Further previously the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth. Then there went up a mist from the earth, Genesis 2:6, to make up for the lack by watering the whole face of the ground, and the mist rising in the yearning of the female for the male. Yet another interpretation says that we take the word not from the first verse to use in the second with mist, and this means that God failed to send rain because the mist had not gone up. For from below must come the impulse to move and the power to move the power above. Thus to form the cloud, vapor ascends first from the earth, and likewise the smoke of the sacrifice ascends, creating harmony above, and the uniting of all, and so the celestial sphere has completion in it. It is from below that the movement starts, and thereafter is all perfected. If the community of Israel failed to initiate the impulse, the one above would also not move to go to her, and it is thus the yearning from below which brings about the completion above. Male and female. Rabbi Simeon set out one time for Tiberias, and with him were Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Judah, Rabbi Hiya. On the road coming toward them, they met Rabbi Phineas. All dismounted and sat down on the mountainside, under a tree. Rabbi Phineas spoke, "While we sit, I should like to hear some of those wondrous ideas which figure in your discourse daily." Then Rabbi Simeon spoke, commencing with the text, and he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel. Unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Ai. He said, and that's Genesis 13:3. He said, "We might here have expected the word journey, but instead we read journeys, which is intended to mean that on the journey with him was the divine presence. It behooves a man to be male and female, always, so that his faith may remain stable, and in order that the presence may never leave him. You will ask, how with the man who makes a journey and away from his wife ceases to be male and female? Such a one before starting, and while he still is male and female, must pray to God, to draw unto himself the presence of his master. After he has prayed and offered thanksgiving, and when the presence is resting on him, then he may go, for by virtue of his union with the presence, he is now male and female in the country, just as he was male and female in the town. For it is written, Righteous Zedek, feminine of Zadok, shall go before him and shall make his footsteps a way. Psalms 85:14. Remark this. The whole time of his traveling, a man should heed well his actions, lest the holy union break off, and he be left imperfect, deprived of the union with a female. If it was needful when he and his wife were together, how much greater the need when the heavenly mate is with him, and the more so indeed since this heavenly union acts as his constant guard on his journey until his return home. Moreover, it is his duty once back home to give his wife pleasure, inasmuch as she it was who obtained for him the heavenly union. There is twofold reason for this duty of cohabitation. First, this pleasure is a religious one, giving joy also to the divine presence, and it is an instrument for peace in the world, as it stands written, And thou shalt know that thy tent is in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and not sin. Job 5:24. It may be questioned, is it a sin if he fails to go to his wife? It is a sin, for in his failure he detracts from the honor of the heavenly mate who was given him by reason of his wife. What up, Keegan? Secondly, if his wife should conceive, the heavenly partner bestows upon the child a holy soul, for this covenant is called the covenant of a holy one, be blessed. Hence a man should be as zealous to enjoy this joy as to enjoy the joy of the Sabbath, at which time is consummated the union of the sages with their wives. Thus thou shalt know that thy tent is in peace. For the presence accompanies you and sojourns in your house, and for this reason thou shalt visit thy habitation and not sin, in gladly carrying out the religious duty to have conjugal intercourse before the presence. So it is that the students of Torah, away from the wives the 6 days of the week they engage in study, are in this period attached to a heavenly mate, so that they do not cease to be male and female. And with the incoming of the Sabbath it behooves them to rejoice their wives to the honor of the heavenly union, and in seeking to do the will of their master, and as has been stated. And likewise, when a man's wife is in her days of separation, in those days while she waits for her man, waits for her, the man has with him the heavenly mate, so that he continues to be male and female. When the wife is purified, the man is in duty bound to rejoice her in the joyful fulfillment of a religious obligation. Those same reasons we have given apply also in this case. According to the secret doctrine, the mystics are bound to give their whole mind and purpose to the one, the Shekhinah. It may be objected that in the light of the previous argument, a man is in a state of more honor on a journey than at home, by virtue of the heavenly mate who is then with him. This is not so. At home, the wife is the foundation of a man's house, inasmuch as it is by virtue of her that the presence does not leave the house. So the verse, and Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, Genesis 24:67. Our masters have interpreted to mean that the divine presence came to Isaac's house along with Rebekah. According to secret doctrine, the supernal mother is together with the male only when the house is in readiness, and at that time the male and female are conjoined. At such time blessings are showered forth by the supernal mother upon them. Likewise the lower mother is found together with the male, only when the house is in readiness, and the male goes into the female, and they conjoin together. Then the blessings of the lower mother are showered forth for them. Therefore 2 females, his mother and his wife, are to compass a man about in his house, like the male above. There is reference to this in the verse, unto, the desire of the everlasting hills. Genesis 49:26. This ad is the desired object of the everlasting hills, by which is meant the supreme female, who is to make ready for him, and make him blissful, and bless him, and also the lower female, who is to be joined in union with him, and take support from him. Likewise below, the desire of the everlasting hills is for the man when he is married, and 2 females, one of the upper, one of the lower world, are to give him bliss, the upper one in showering upon him all blessings, and the lower one in receiving support from him and being joined together with him. So it is with the man in his house. When he is on a journey, while the supernal mother is still with him, the lower wife remains behind, and therefore on his returning it behooves him to do that which will compass him about with 2 females, as we have explained. Okay, this is called Consuming Fire. I'm going to take a quick reading break. Nice, Chris. I just saw the link. Okay, this is called Consuming Fire. Rabbi Simeon said, in one place it is written, for the Lord thy God is a consuming fire. Deuteronomy 4:24, and elsewhere. But ye that cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. Deuteronomy 4:4. The companions have already discussed The seeming inconsistency between these texts, but I offer yet another interpretation. It has been affirmed by the companions that there exists a sort of fire which is stronger than other fire, and the one consumes and annihilates the other. If we continue this thought, it can be said that he who cares to pierce into the mystery of the holy unity of God should consider the flame as it rises from a burning coal or candle. There must always be some material substance from which the flame thus rises. In the flame itself may be seen two lights, the one white and glowing, the other black or blue. Of the two, the white light is the higher and rises unwavering. Underneath it is the blue or black light, upon which the other rests as on a support. The two are conjoined, the white reposing upon the throne of the black. The blue or black base is likewise connected to some beneath it, which feeds it and makes it to cling to the white light above. At times this blue or black light turns red, but the light above remains constantly white. This lower light, at times black, at times blue, at times red, serves to link the white light above it with the material substance below, to which it is bound and through which it is kindled. This lower light is in its nature an instrument for destruction and death, devouring whatever comes near it. But the white light above neither consumes nor demolishes, nor does it ever change. Therefore Moses said, "For the Lord thy God is a consuming fire." 4:24, consuming daily. Deuteronomy, consuming, actually, all that is beneath him. For this reason he said, "Thy God and not our God," inasmuch as Moses stood in the supernal light, which does not consume and does not demolish. Remark further, it is Israel alone which impels the blue light to kindle and to link itself with the white light. Israel who cleave to the blue light from below, and though it be in the nature of the blue or black light to destroy whatever it touches beneath, yet Israel cleaving to it from beneath are not destroyed. So it is said, "But ye that cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day, your God, and not our God." That is to say, it is the blue or black flame, consuming and annihilating whatever cleaves to it from below, and still you cleave and are alive. Only just perceptible above the white light and encompassing it is yet another light, this one symbolizing the supreme essence. So does the aspiring flame symbolize the supernal mysteries of wisdom. Rabbi Phineas went to him and kissed him and said, "Blessed be God who guided me here." And they went out with Rabbi Phineas, accompanying him for 3 miles. When they had returned, Rabbi Simeon spoke. The description I have given may be taken as a symbol of the holy unity of God. In the holy name, Yahweh. Subnote, the 4 letters of the name of God represent 4 stages of ever-increasing divine manifestation, YHVH. The second letter, Ha, is the blue or black light attached to the remaining letters Yod, He, Vav, which constitute the luminous white light. But there come times, again that's Yod, He, and Vav, Yod, He, Vav, and the Ye, or the He is the man, and then Yod, He, Vav. But there comes times when this blue light is not He, but Dalet, which is to say, poverty. This means when Israel failed to cleave to it from beneath, and it in turn fails therefore to burn and cleave to the white light. The blue light is Dalet. But when Israel make it to cleave to the white light, then it is He, Ha. If male and female are not together, then He, Ha, is erased, and there remains only Dalet, poverty. But when the chain is perfect, the Ha cleaves to the white light, and Israel cleave to the Ha, give substance for its light, and are yet not destroyed. In this we see the mystery of the sacrifice. The rising smoke kindles the blue light, which then joins itself to the white light, whereupon the entire candle is wholly kindled, a light with a single unified flame. As it is the nature of the blue light to demolish whatever comes into touch with it from beneath. Therefore, if the sacrifice be acceptable and the candle wholly kindled, then, as with Elijah, the fire of the Lord descends and consumes the burnt offering. 1 Kings 18:38. This reveals that the chain is perfected, for then the blue light cleaves to the white light above, while at the same time consuming the fat and flesh of the burnt offering beneath, nor can it consume what is below, except it rise and join itself to the white light. At such time peace reigns in all worlds, and all together form a unity. The blue light having devoured everything beneath, the priests, the Levites, the laity gathered at its base with singing and meditation and with prayer, while above them the lamp glows. The lights emerged into a unity, worlds are illumined, and above and below all are blessed. Therefore it is written, Yea, even while cleaving to the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. The word atom, you, is here preceded by the letter vav, and, which indicates that while the fat and flesh, cleaving to the flame, are devoured by it, you who cleave to it are yet alive. Departure from life. As a man is in his hour to go from life, Adam, the first man, comes before him and asks him why he is departing from the world, and in what condition. The man says, Woe to thee, that I must die on account of thee. Adam answers, My son, one commandment did I break, and was punished for it. See how many are the commandments of your master, both to do and not to do, that you have transgressed. Rabbi, said Rabbi, here to this day Adam exists, and 2 times each day he stands before the patriarchs and confesses his transgressions, and shows them the place where once he dwelled in heavenly glory. Rabbi Yesa said Adam comes before every man at the moment he is about to leave this life, in order to declare that the man is dying not because of Adam's sin, but on account of his own sins. As the sages said, there is no death without sin. Let's see what this looks like. Real time. Isn't that amazing? It's like almost like real time now on these live streams. Okay, I'm going to jump out of Zohar, but we're going to continue our Kabbalistic Shabbat Torah study, and we're keeping it Jewish. Let me get the next Torah study. Here we go. Okay, this is Siddur Avadot. To the end that ye may bear in mind and perform all of my commandments. Oh, I didn't read this far. Okay, this is morning service. How far we got? This is called a prayer of Moses, the man of God. Oh Lord, this is Psalm XC. I don't know what the Roman numeral C is, but 20 something. O Lord, thou hast been a refuge unto us from generation to generation. Ere yet the mountains were brought forth from eternity, even unto eternity, art thou God. Thou reducest mortal man unto contrition, and sayest, Return, O ye children of man. For 1,000 years are in thine eyes but as yesterday, when it is past, and as a watch by night. Thou sweepest them away, whilst they are asleep, in the morning like grass that sprouteth. In the morning it bloometh and sprouteth, in the evening it is mown down and withereth. For we are consumed in thine anger, and by thy wrath are we confounded. Thou hast set our iniquities before thee, our secret deeds in the light of thy countenance. For all our days fleet past in thine anger, we consume our years like idle talk. The days of our years are 70, but if in vigor they reach 80, their pride is but trouble and sorrow, for full soon it is cut off and we flee. Who knoweth the power of thine anger, and proportioneth his awe of thee unto thy wrath? Teach us so to number our days, that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. Return, O Eternal. How long shall it yet last? Have pity on thy servants. Satisfy us each morning with thy loving kindness, that we may jubilate and be glad all our days. Cause us to rejoice according to the days wherein thou hast afflicted us, the years wherein we have experienced evil. Visible unto thy servants be thy working, and thy splendor unto their children. May the pleasant grace of the Lord our God be upon us, and the work of our hands confirm unto us. Yea, the work of our hands do thou confirm it. He that dwelleth under the protection of the Most High abideth beneath the shadow of the Almighty. I will say unto the Eternal, my refuge and my stronghold is my God, in whom I do confide. For he will save thee from the fowler's snare, from the destructive pestilence. With his pinion will he cover thee, and beneath his wings shalt thou be secure. A shield and a buckler is his truth. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror of the night, the arrow that flieth by day, of the plague that stalketh in darkness, nor of destruction that wasteth at noon. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, yea, 10,000 at thy right hand, yet thee shall it not approach. But with thine eyes shalt thou look on, and see the requital of the wicked. For thou hast made the Eternal my reliance, even the Most High thy refuge. No evil shall befall thee, nor shall any plague come nigh unto thy tent. For his angels will be charged concerning thee, to protect thee in all thy ways. Upon their hands shall they hear thee, lest thy foot smite against a stone. On the lion and the asp shalt thou tread, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under foot. Because he hath delighted in me, I will deliver him, I will exalt him, for he knoweth my name. When he calleth on me, I will answer him. I will be with him in need, I will deliver him and grant him honor. With length of days will I satisfy him, and suffer him to behold my salvation. Psalm C, XXXV. Hallelujah. Praise ye the name of the Eternal. Praise him, ye servants of the Eternal, that stand in the house of the Eternal, in the courts of the house of our God. Hallelujah. Hey Chris, thanks man. I really appreciate you doing this for me. It's very cool of you. I look forward to listening to myself because, like, I don't know. There's, I know you like to think that recording is cool, but wait till you record and listen to yourself. Then you'll get the real dopamine boost that you've been missing out on. I hope you enjoy. I mean, I could record you reading a book. The thing is, when you listen to the playback, there's a lot of things in terms of like comprehension that you may have missed, but it's all like these double-edged swords. It's just a fascinating way to use the brain and to use these cell phones and making recordings. I mean, I don't know. It's like people go through their whole lives, they never do this. It's like, holy shit, all these books and these devices. It's like, what do you think it's all for? So you can just talk about like the fucking Bears, and what kind of pizza you're going to have for dinner tonight. Is that it? That's it? But anyways, the presence is with us. So let us continue our Torah Shabbat Kabbalah study session. Here we go. Okay, we're continuing to read from the Siddur. Hallelujah, for the Eternal is kind. Proffer hymns unto his name, for it is comely. For Jacob hath God selected for himself, Israel as the object of his special regard. For I know that the Eternal is great, and our Lord is above all gods. Whatsoever the Eternal pleaseth doth he do in heaven and on earth, in the seas and on all depths. He causeth vapors to rise from the borders of the earth. Lightning doth he produce with rain, and bringeth forth the wind from its storehouses. Who smote the firstborn of Egypt, from man even unto beast. Sent signs and wonders into the midst of thee, O Egypt, upon Pharaoh and upon all his servants. Who smote great nations and slew mighty kings. Sihon, king of the Amorites, Og, king of Bashan, and all the kingdoms of Canaan, Sinai, he gave their land for an inheritance unto Israel, his people, O Eternal. Thy name is everlasting, O Eternal. Thy memorial endureth throughout all generations, for the Eternal will judge his people, and towards his servants show commiseration. The idols of the heathen are silver and gold, the work of human hands. A mouth they have, but they speak not. Eyes have they not, but they see not. Ears they have not, but hear not. I already read this the other day, but I really like it. Nor is there any breath in their mouths like unto them, be they that made them, all that put their trust in them. House of Israel, bless the Eternal. House of Aaron, bless ye the Eternal. Blessed be the Eternal from Zion, who throneth in Jerusalem. Hallelujah. Psalm XXXVI. Give thanks unto the Eternal, for he is kind, for his mercy it endureth forever. Give thanks unto the God of gods. Give thanks unto the Lord of lords. Unto him who alone performeth wondrous acts, who created the heavens in wisdom, who expanded the earth above the waters, who made great luminaries, the sun to rule by day, the moon and stars to rule by night, who smote the Egyptians in their firstborn, and brought Israel forth from the midst of them, with strong hand and outstretched arm, who severed the Red Sea into parts, and caused Israel to pass through the midst of it, and overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Red Sea, who guided his people through the wilderness, who smote great kings, for his mercy endureth forever, and slew mighty King Sihon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, and gave the land as an inheritance unto Israel his servant, who remembered us in our humiliation, and ever liberated us from our oppressors, who giveth food unto all flesh. Give thanks unto the God of heaven. Exalt, this is Psalm 33. Exalt, O ye righteous, in the eternal psalmody beseems the upright. Give thanks unto the Eternal with the harp, him his praises with the 10-stringed psaltery. Sing unto him a new song, play skillfully upon the trumpet. For right is the word of the Lord, and all he doeth is in faithfulness. He loveth righteousness and judgment, yea. The earth is replete with the loving kindness of the Eternal. By the word of the Eternal were the heavens made, by the breath of his mouth. All the hosts whereof he gathereth together in a heap. The waters of the sea he layeth up in the storehouses the depths. The whole earth shall fear the Eternal. Stand in awe of him, all indwellers of the world. For he spake, and it was, he commanded, and it stood firm. The Eternal hath annulled the counsel of the heathen, frustrated the imaginings of nations. Many are the conceptions in the heart of man, but the counsel of the Eternal shall alone endure. The counsel of the Eternal shall stand forever. The conceptions of his heart throughout all generations. Happy the people whose God is the Eternal, the people that he hath chosen. Shall they bloom? They shall sprout forth in hoary age, replete with sap and full of foliage, to proclaim that the Eternal is just, my rock, in whom there is no iniquity. The Eternal is King. Psalm XC 333. Clad is the Eternal, clad in sublimity, with might hath he begirt himself, yea, he hath firmly fixed this globe so that it cannot be displaced. Established is thy throne from of old, from everlasting art thou. The floods lift up, O Eternal, the floods lift up their voice, the floods lift up their roar. Yet above the rush of many waters, the ocean's mightiest surge, mighty on high is the Eternal. Thy testimonies are well assured, sanctity beseems thy house, O Eternal, whilst time endures. The glory of the Eternal be forever. May the Eternal rejoice in his works. The name of the Eternal be blessed from now until evermore, from the rising of the sun until the setting thereof. Praised be the Eternal's name. Exalted above all nations is the Eternal. Above the heavens is his glory, O Eternal. Thy name lasts forever, O Eternal. Thy memorial throughout all generations. The Eternal in the heavens hath established his throne, and his kingly power ruleth over everything. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth be glad, and be it said amongst the peoples, the Eternal reigns. The Eternal reigneth, the Eternal hath reigned, the Eternal will reign forever and ever. The Eternal reigns forevermore. The heathen have perished from his land. The Eternal hath annulled the counsel of the heathens, frustrated the imaginings of nations. Many are the conceptions in the heart of man, but the counsel of the Eternal shall alone endure. The counsel of the Eternal shall stand forever, the conceptions of his heart throughout all generations. For he spake, and it arose, he commanded, and it endured. For the Eternal hath elected Zion, determined it to be his dwelling place. For Jacob hath the everlasting one chosen unto himself, Israel as his peculiar treasure. For the Eternal will not forsake his people, his heritage will he. He shall not abandon. Yea, he, being merciful, pardoneth guilt, and destroyeth not. Frequently doth he avert his anger, and arouseth not all his wrath. O Eternal, save. O King, respond to us upon the day wherein we call. Happy they who dwell in thy house, they shall be ever praising thee. Selah. Happy the people that is so circumstanced, happy the people whose God is the Eternal. David's Psalm of Praise, Psalm CXLV. I will extol thee, my God, O King, and bless thy name forevermore. Great is the Eternal, and praised exceedingly. His greatness is inscrutable. One generation laudeth thy deeds unto another, and thy mighty acts do they declare. Of the resplendent glory of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works will I discourse. Of the might of thy awe-inspiring acts shall they tell, whilst thy greatness I declare. The memory of thine abundant goodness shall they utter, and of thy justice sing. Gracious and compassionate is the Eternal, long-suffering and abounding in mercy. Kind is the Eternal unto all, and his mercies are extended unto all his works. All thy works shall give thanks unto thee, O Eternal. And thy pious ones shall bless thee. Of the glory of thy kingdom shall they speak, and on thy might descant, to make known unto the children of man his mighty deeds and the glorious splendor of his sovereign power. Thy kingdom is the kingdom of eternity, thy dominion throughout all generations. QQQ. Did you miss it? You gotta go? This is going long.
Going long.
Okay. All right, testing. Here we go. Okay, this is Psalm CXLV, David's Psalm of Praise. Gracious and compassionate is the Eternal, long-suffering and abounding in mercy. Kind is the Eternal unto all, and his mercies are extended unto all his works. All thy works shall give thanks unto thee, O Eternal, and thy pious ones shall bless thee. Of the glory of thy kingdom shall they speak, and on thy might descant, to make known unto the children of man his mighty deeds, and the glorious splendor of his sovereign power. Thy kingdom is the kingdom of eternity, thy dominion throughout all generations. The Eternal upholdeth all who fall, and raiseth up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all look wistfully up to thee, and thou grantest them their food in due season. Thou openest thy hand, and satisfiest the desire of all that liveth. Just is the Eternal in all his ways, and gracious in all his works. Nigh is the Eternal unto all who call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. He granteth the desire of those who fear him. Their supplication will be, who giveth to the beasts their food. Oops. Their supplication will he hear and save them. The Eternal doth preserve all those who love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. The praise of the Eternal my mouth shall speak, and all flesh shall bless his holy name for ever and ever. But we will bless the everlasting one, from now and until evermore. Hallelujah. Psalm CXLVI. Hallelujah. Praise the Eternal, O my soul. I will glorify the Eternal whilst I live. Sing the praises of my God while I exist. Confide ye not in princes, in the Son of Man, who hath no power to save. His breath departeth from him. He returneth to his mother earth. On that very day his devices perish. Happy he who has the God of Jacob for his help, whose hope is directed unto the Eternal his God, who made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is therein, who keepeth faith forever, who executeth judgment for the oppressed, giveth bread unto the hungry. The Eternal setteth free those who are bound. The Eternal maketh the blind to see. The Eternal raiseth up those who are bowed down. The Eternal loveth the righteous. The Eternal protecteth strangers. The fatherless and the widow doth he sustain. But the path of the wicked will he pervert. The Eternal will reign forever. Thy God, O Zion, throughout all generations. Hallelujah. Psalm CXLV2. Hallelujah. For it is good to sing praises unto our God, for it is pleasant. Psalmody is his due. The Eternal buildeth Jerusalem, the outcasts of Israel doth he gather together. He it is who healeth the brokenhearted, and bindeth up their wounds. He appointeth the number of the stars, all of them doth he call by name. Great is our Lord. Great is our Lord and rich in power, his wisdom is ineffable. The sustainer of those who are bowed down is the eternal, whilst he humbleth the wicked even unto the earth. Chant unto the Lord with thanksgiving, sing praises unto our God to the sound of the harp, who covereth the heavens with clouds, prepareth rain for the earth, and causeth grass to grow upon the mountains. Who giveth to the beasts their food, to the young ravens when they cry. Not in the strength of a steed doth he take pleasure, nor in the thighs of a man doth he delight. The Eternal delighteth in those who fear him, in those who look hopefully for his mercy. Praise the Eternal, O Jerusalem. Glorify thy God, O Zion. For he hath strengthened the bars of thy gates, he hath blessed thy children in the midst of thee. He hath set us up as thy boundary peace. With the fat of wheat doth he satisfy thee. He sendeth his decree to earth, most rapidly his word doth run. He sendeth snow like wool, rime like ashes doth he scatter abroad. He hurleth his frost as in pieces, in the presence of his cold who can abide? He sendeth forth his word, and melteth them. He causeth his wind to blow, and they flow like water. He proclaimed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He hath not done so unto any other nation, and judgments have they not known. Hallelujah. Psalm CXL.
Are you still reading from the Zohar?
No, this is the morning service in the Siddur Avodot Israel. This is from the book of Psalms.
Oh.
I just moved from. This is like a Kabbalah study, Zohar and Psalm.
Yes. Because I just downloaded a PDF copy of Zohar, the Book of Splendor, and I was wondering, like, where you were, so I could read along.
Ah. Yeah, Zohar is good, but I have bought so many varieties, or I've bought so many versions of these books, like, because I have like, let's say 10 different Lao Tzu Dao De Ching, and like some of them are better than others. And then with Zohar too, like the one I was reading from wasn't the most exciting version of the Zohar I've read, meaning that, um, just depends on how much the scribe and the publisher are putting into it. Like the Pritzker Zohars are massive. But even then, like a lot of this is all in Hebrew as well. So it's like, you gotta admit, like I'm really stupid, meaning that there are people who, are totally transliterative and I guess they're trans, you know what I'm saying? Like I haven't yet put on a blonde wig and started reading Zohar. Anyways, it's a joke, but yeah, if you can speak multiple languages, that's pretty freaking incredible because I couldn't even imagine being able to read the Hebrew part and then knowing real time what you're reading, like to be a translator, very complicated.
Es muy complicado.
Okay, I'm going to continue my Torah study for the day. Thank you for recording this. If you're still recording this, if you like this video,
Yeah, I still am.
cool. We also have somebody named Robert who has been joining my rooms rather compulsively. I don't know who he is or who she is, but Robert, I don't know. Do you ever want to say anything in these rooms, or are you just like the tree whisperer, the person commenting on how much you hate a lot of the people on this app? I enjoy your commentary. If you have any gossip, put it in the chat. Okay, we're going to continue.
So, what edition? Because I bet you can find a PDF copy of what you're reading really quick. I want to follow along, read the words.
Of which one, the Zohar or the Siddur?
I already have the Zohar, but what you're currently reading.
It's called Siddur, Siddur, Avodot, Avodot. But again, this is like printed in 1949. I don't think you're going to be able to find what I'm reading from, Like, you could maybe find it, but I bet you it's like a unique...
So, how do you spell it again? It's SIDDUR.
Yeah, Siddur. Maybe it's a standard. Yeah, maybe it's a standard book. I don't know. I'm willing to bet that it was written by native British English speakers / emigres or immigrants into Israel.
Is it the Siddur Telihat Hashem with English translation hardcover edition?
No, I don't know. This book is like printed in 1949. It's printed by, I don't know, dude. You're not gonna find it. Sinai Tel Aviv Publishing, Israel, Siddur Avodot, Israel with English translations. Printed in Israel by Ortzel Limited, ORTSEL Limited, 1959 copyright. Contents are morning service, afternoon service for weekdays, inauguration of the Sabbath. Ooh, that's what we're going to read, 154. Okay, this will kickstart my Shabbos and kickstart your Shabbos. Hope you have a great weekend, Chris. I hope you and your wife have a beautiful Shabbos.
You too. Yeah, I keep the Shabbat, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so
yeah,
that's like something that I'm really faithful, one day where I just don't know anything. It's great.
Well, you should keep it holy. You should study Torah, make it holy. Like, even if that means recording people on Clubhouse and showing how unholy they are, Ribbono Shel Olam. You can only really know if you're holy by contrast. I was told yesterday at the dentist I have a hole in my wisdom tooth. Okay, this is called Inauguration of the Sabbath.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai.
The following 6 psalms are chanted after the conclusion of the afternoon service on the Sabbath Eve. Psalm XCV. Come, let us sing joyously unto the Eternal. Let us jubilate unto the rock of our salvation. Let us enter into his presence with thanksgiving. Jubilate unto him with songs. For a great God is the Eternal, and a King great above all gods, in whose hand are the depths of the earth, unto whom are the mountains soaring heights, unto whom are the sea that he hath made, and the dry land that his hands have fashioned. Come, let us bow and bend and kneel in the presence of the Eternal our Maker. For he is our God, and we the people of his pasture, the sheep of his possession this very day. If unto his voice ye will but hearken, harden not your hearts as at Meribah, as on the day of Massa in the wilderness, when your fathers tempted and tried me, though they saw what I had wrought. For 40 years was I wearied with that generation, and said, They are a people of erring heart, who have not taken cognizance of my ways, so that I swore in my wrath, They shall not come unto my rest. Psalm XCVI. Sing unto the Eternal a new song. Sing unto the Eternal, all the earth. Sing unto the Eternal, bless his name. Proclaim from day unto day his saving power. Relate among the nations of his glory, amongst all peoples his wondrous works. For great is the Eternal, and exceedingly to be praised. Awful is he above all. Yeah, Chris, if there's something you want to read, we could do that too. But I would say create a new room and record yourself on a separate recording. For all the gods of the heathen are mere vain conceits, but the Eternal made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him, strength and beauty in his sanctuary. Ascribe unto the Eternal, ye families of nations. Ascribe unto the Eternal honor and might. Ascribe unto the Eternal the honor due unto his name. Bearing gifts, enter ye his courts. Bow ye down before the Eternal in the adornments of sanctity. Tremble in his presence, all the earth. Declare among the heathens, the Eternal is king. Firmly fixed is the earth, so that it cannot be moved. He judgeth nations righteously. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth be glad. Let the sea roar with the fullness thereof. The fields exult and all that is therein. Then jubilate all the trees of the forest in presence of the Eternal. For he hath come to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness, and the peoples with his faithfulness. Psalm XCV 22. The Eternal reigneth. Let the earth be glad. Let many isles rejoice. Clouds and thick darkness are around him. Righteousness and justice are the bases of his throne. Fire goeth before him, and consumeth his adversaries round about. His lightnings irradiate the world. The earth doth see and quaketh. Mountains melt like wax before the Eternal, before the Lord of all the earth. The heavens declare his righteousness, and all nations behold his glory. Abashed are all who worship images, who boast of their vain conceits. All gods fall prostrate before him. Zion heareth and rejoice. Yea, the daughters of Judah are glad by reason of thy judgments, O Eternal. For thou, O Eternal, art supreme above the whole earth, art exceedingly exalted above all gods. Yea, that love the Eternal, yea, hate ye evil. He preserveth the soul of his pious ones. From the power of the wicked will he deliver them. Light is sown for the righteous, joy for the upright of heart. Rejoice, O ye righteous, in the Eternal, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. Psalm XCV 333, a psalm. Sing unto the Eternal a new song, for he hath done wondrous things. His right hand with his holy arm hath wrought salvation for him. The Eternal hath rendered his salvation evident. Unto the eyes of the nations hath he revealed his righteousness. He hath remembered his loving kindness and his faithfulness unto the house of Israel. All the limits of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Jubilate unto the Eternal, all ye of earth. Burst forth into joyous sound and psalmody. Chant unto the Eternal to the clang of the harp, with the harp and the voice of melody, with trumpets and the blast of the cornet. Mingle acclamations in the presence of the Eternal King. Let the ocean roar in the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein. Let the streams clasp their hands, the mountains shout for joy in the presence of the Eternal. For he cometh to judge the earth. He will judge the world with righteousness and the nations in equity. Psalm XC1X. The Eternal reigneth, let nations tremble. He throneth above, let the cherubim the earth totter. The Eternal in Zion is great, yea, exalted is he above all the nations. They acknowledge thy name great and fearful to be holy, and ledge thy name great and fearful to be holy. In the triumph of the King who loveth justice, thou hast firmly established equity. Justice and righteousness in Jacob hast thou wrought. Extol ye the Eternal our God, and bow ye down at his footstool. Holy is he. Moses and Aaron among his priests, and Samuel among those who invoke his name, did call upon the Eternal, and he answered them. In a pillar of cloud did he speak unto them. They kept his testimonies, and the statute that he gave them. Eternal our God, Thou didst grant their prayer and word a pardoning, God, unto them. Thou didst wreak retribution upon their evil deeds. Extol the eternal our God, and bow ye down at the mount of his holiness, for holy is the eternal our God. Psalm XXIX, a psalm of David. Ascribe unto the eternal, ye sons of the mighty. Ascribe unto the eternal glory and might. Ascribe unto the eternal the honor due unto his name. Bow ye down unto the Lord in the adornment of sanctity. The voice of the eternal resounds above the waters. The God of glory, the eternal, thunders above the mighty waters. The voice of the eternal in strength. The voice of the Lord in majesty. The voice of the eternal doth shatter the cedars of Lebanon. He causeth them to skip like a calf. Lebanon and Sherion like young heifers. The voice. The voice of the eternal flasheth with flaming fire. The voice of the eternal maketh the desert to quake. The eternal maketh to quake the desert of Kadesh. The voice of the eternal causeth the oaks to tremble, and maketh the forest bare. And in his temple everything bespeaks his glory. The eternal was enthroned at the deluge. The eternal is enthroned as king forevermore. The eternal will grant strength unto his people. The eternal will bless his people with peace. An apostrophe to the Sabbath Eve. Beloved.
I have something to read.
Hold on, let me finish this. This is the last page. Let me finish this. Okay, I'm going to read a page, just about one more page. Here we go. An apostrophe to the Sabbath Eve. Beloved, come and meet the bride. Bid welcome to the Sabbath tide. Observe and remember, as 'twere in one word, from him the sole God, we the mandate have heard. God single in essence and single in name, whose glories resplendent his greatness proclaim. Beloved, to meet the blessed Sabbath, oh, come, let us go, that source whence the richest of bentions flow, ordained from on high ere the wide world began. Thou last in creation, 'twas foremost in plan, beloved. Thou sovereign temple, queen city sublime, arouse thee, come forth from the ruins of time. Too long hast thou dwelt in the valley of tears, thy Maker in mercy comes, banish thy fears. Beloved, shake the dust from thy garments and stand forth erect, don thy festive apparel, my people elect. Through the Scion of Jesse in Bethlehem born, soon my rapt soul shall wake to redemption's bright morn. Beloved, no longer let slumber thy senses benumb, arise and shine forth, for thy dawn light hath come. Wake thee, wake, and thy soul unto psalmody yield. See o'er thee the eternal in glory revealed. Beloved, lo, thy shame and confusion are utterly flown, when thy art thou cast down. Why so pensively moan? The oppressed of thy race shall not seek thee in vain, for thy city shall rise from her ruin again. Beloved, soon shall they that despoil thee themselves be a spoil, and no more the destroyer shall sweep o'er thy soil. Whilst in thee shall rejoice God that dwelleth above, as the bridegroom delights in the bride of his love. Beloved, to the right and the left shall thy boundary spread. The eternal alone shalt thou worship in dread. Soon an offering of Judah blessed tidings shall bear. Then let us exalt and forego earthborn care. Beloved, make thy entry in peace, fairest crown of the Lord. Hark, we greet thy approach in one joyous accord, in the midst of God's chosen race, faithful and true. Enter hither, sweet Sabbath, thou bride that we woo. Beloved, come and meet the bride. Bid welcome to the Sabbath tide. Okay, that's called Inauguration of the Sabbath. Pretty interesting. I like reading this and then thinking about like ChatGPT for some reason, or like knowing that it would never like that. To me, that is like a spell, right? That sounds just like Aleister Crowley's Hymn to Pan. So it's like an invocation, to the deity. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Okay, what did you want to read, Chris? Go ahead.
The power to read intelligibly and to speak in a full, clear, round tone in a distinct and impressive manner. Every Christian is called to make known to others the unsearchable riches of Christ. Therefore, he should seek for perfection in speech. He should present the word of God in a way that will command it to the hearers. God does not design that his human channels shall be uncouth. It is not his will that man shall belittle or degrade the heavenly current that flows through him to the world. We should look to Jesus, the perfect pattern. We should pray for the aid of the Holy Spirit, and his strength we should seek to train every organ for perfect work. Especially is this true for those who are called to public service. Every minister and every teacher should bear in mind that he's giving to the people a message that involves eternal interests. The truth spoken will judge them in the great day of final reckoning, and with some souls the manner of the one delivering the message will determine its reception or rejection. Then let the word be so spoken that it will appeal to the understanding and impress the heart. Slowly, distinctly, and solemnly should it be spoken, yet with all this earnestness which its importance demands. The right culture and the use of the power of speech has to do with every line of Christian work. It enters into the home life and into our intercourse with one another. We should accustom ourselves to speak in pleasant tones, to use pure and correct language, and words that are kind, courteous, sweet, kind. Words are as dew and gentle showers to the soul. The scripture says of Christ that grace was poured into his lips that he might know how to speak a word in season to him that is weary. Psalms 45:2, Isaiah 54. And the Lord bids us, let your speech be always with grace, Colossians 4:6, that it may minister grace unto the hearers, Ephesians 4:29. The culture and the right use of the voice are greatly neglected, even by persons of intelligence and Christian activity. There are many who read or speak in so low or rapid a manner that they cannot be readily understood. Some have thick and distinct utterance, and others speak in high key and sharp, shrill tones that are painful to the hearers. Texts, hymns sung before public assemblies are sometimes read in such a way that they are not understood, and often so that their force and impressiveness are destroyed. Voice culture should be taught in the reading class, and in other classes the teacher should insist that the students speak distinctly and use words which express their thoughts clearly. Students should be taught to use their abdominal muscles and breathing and speaking. This will make the tones more full and clear. When voice culture, reading, writing, and spelling take their rightful place in our schools, there will be seen a great change for the better. These subjects have been neglected because teachers have not recognized their value, but they are more important than Latin and Greek. I do not say that it is wrong to study Latin and Greek, but I do say that it is wrong to neglect the subjects that lie at the foundation of education in order to tax the mind with the study of these higher branches. Melody of the voice. Those who gain correct ideas on the subject of voice culture will see the necessity of educating and training themselves so that they may honor God and bless others. They will put themselves under patient, efficient teachers and learn to read in a way that will preserve the melody of the voice. With an eye single to the glory of God, they will make most of their natural abilities, commanding their own powers. They will not be embarrassed by defects of speech, and their usefulness in the cause of God will be increased. Soft musical cadence. Then who gives Bible readings in the congregation or in the family should be able to read with a soft musical cadence which will charm the hearers. A great power. Let those who labor in word and doctrine strive to perfect themselves in the use of language. The voice is a great power, and yet many have not trained their voices in such a way that they may be used in their highest capacity. He who has bestowed upon us all the gifts that enable us to be workers together with God expects his servants to cultivate their voices so that they can speak and sing in a way that all can understand. Imperfect utterance, a dishonor to God. Let us all make the most of the talent of speech. God calls for a higher, more perfect ministry. He is dishonored by the imperfect utterance of the one who, by painstaking effort, could become an acceptable mouthpiece for him. The truth is often marred by the channel through which it passes. The Lord calls upon all who are connected with his service to give attention to the cultivation of the voice, that they may utter in an acceptable manner the great and solemn truths he has entrusted to them. Let none mar the truth by defective utterance. Let not those who have neglected to cultivate the talent of speech suppose that they are qualified to minister, for they have yet to attain the power to communicate. Ministers of the gospel should know how to speak with power and expression, making the words of eternal life so expressive and impressive that the hearers cannot but feel their weight. I am pained as to hear the defective voices of many of our ministers. Such ministers rob God of the glory he might have if they train themselves to speak the word with power. No man should regard himself as qualified to enter the ministry until by persevering effort he has overcome every defect in his utterance. If he attempts to speak to the people without knowing how to use the talent of speech, half his influence is lost, for he has little power to hold the attention of a congregation. The abuse of the gift of speech. The gift of speech has been greatly abused and widely perverted from its intended purpose. But let those who claim to be children of the heavenly King awake to the responsibility and make most of this talent. Let no one say, "It is of no use for me to try to pray, for others do not hear me." Rather, let him say, "I will make the earnest effort to overcome this God-dishonoring habit of speaking in a low and distinct tone. I will put myself under discipline until my voice shall be audible, even to those who are dull of hearing." The teachings of Christ were impressive and solemn. His voice was melodious. And should not we, as well as Christ, study to have melody in our voices? He had a mighty influence, for he was the Son of God. We are so far beneath him and so far deficient that even if we do the very best we can, our efforts will be poor. We cannot gain and possess the influence that he had. But why should we not educate ourselves to come just as near to the pattern as it is possible for us to do, that we may have the greatest possible influence on the people? Our words, our actions, our deportment, our dress, everything should preach. Not only with our words should we speak to the people, but everything pertaining to our person should be a sermon to them. The right impressions may be made upon them, and that the truth spoken may be taken by them to their homes. Thus, our faith will stand in a better light before the community. Young men and women, have you, as individuals purchased at infinite cost, sought to study to show yourselves approved unto God? Workmen, which need not to be ashamed, have you brought to God the precious talent of your voice and put forth painstaking effort to speak clearly, distinctly, and readily? However imperfect may be your manner of utterance, you may correct your faults and refuse to allow yourself to have a nasal tone or to speak in a thick, indistinct way. If your articulation is distinct and intelligible, your usefulness will be greatly increased. Then do not leave one defective habit of speech uncorrected. Correct language and cultivated voice. The great educating book is the Bible, and yet is little read or practiced. Oh, that every individual would seek to make of himself all that he could, improving his opportunities to the very best of his ability, purposing to use every power which God has given him, not simply to advance his temporal affairs, but to advance his spiritual interests. Oh, that all might search diligently to know what is truth, to study earnestly that they might have correct language and cultivated voices, that they might present the truth in all its elevated and ennobling beauty. Let no one imagine that he will drift into some position of usefulness. If men would be used to work for God, let them put to the stretch their powers and concentrate their minds in earnest application. So yeah, that's what I wanted to read.
Okay, cool. I created a couple little sound bites for you. You can go to the other Adrian Dittman account that I have with the Magician Tarot card. It's called Jesus Christ King Lord, or I sent you a 20-second snippet on your phone, and then it's on my YouTube channel as well. But
Sweet. Yeah, no, like this book like really like emphasizes like the power of speech and like the power of the voice, the ability to enunciate correctly. Like it's a really useful, like it's a talent, and you need to practice it. And from what I've noticed, like you specifically, John, like it's amazing like how good you are of a reader. It really is. Like you've really put in the hours. Yeah.
well, it's like a flowing. It's almost like swimming on the words, because you can like chant anything. So I would practice chanting or hymning, and then when you're chanting and hymning, the words just like float over like the melody. So, but it's also very like powerful for your brain, because if you can process words, by that flow, you can technically like read anything of great
it's
complexity.
Like it's mind body synthesis. Like it's the more like the spiritual realm of like the mind combining with like the physical aspect of your body. That sort of duality becomes non-dual.
Yeah, and the most amazing thing is like I think it increases IQ, EQ if you study topics like this, or you study religion. And I think it's amazing how you can go into like some of these atheist rooms, and like if they read the Book of Psalms and they read it out loud, like how can they dispute what they're reading as not being at least very intelligent, because it's really like a mathematical equation.
It's like that Carl Jung text that I sent you like a couple days ago. Like the atheist people, like they're shutting off like a certain portion of the sort of matrix, like the more perfect form. The most perfect form. Like even if like I don't know, it's
Well,
it's really sad.
It's like a scope problem, like meaning that the scope of a project, because the room, though you may have a title, because it's scoped, it just makes, if like the gist is it's an atheist room, but you scope the room, it's just such not an authentic exploration, nor is it a debate. It definitely is a fascist green bean type of thing.
And I don't understand why like more atheists aren't apatheists, apathetic atheists. Like they're like bigots for atheism, like they're gung ho and like they have such a hatred towards religion because maybe they were like brought up with it. Like, and of course like that's an organizing element, but there's like deeper, more esoteric occultic knowledge within some of like these.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with scoping.
Yeah.
Well, they're scoping because you're totally negating and leaving out a countless amount of symbols. And, symbols you can criticize, but if you can't have the conversation, then you just can't handle it because of your sensibilities. It is like a snobbery. Alan Watts calls it religious one-upmanship. So it is really a whole linguistic one-upmanship, and it's all in English on top of it. So until you can go multilingual, or you even have a business backing what you're actually talking about, you're not really taking the game to a very advanced level. But anyways, I mean, life is if you look at American or even global Christianity or Islamism or Judaism or Buddhism or Hinduism, or any other isms and any other religions, like there is a financial backing to those organizations, based off of retained earnings and endowments. And then they themselves are publishing organizations and political organizations. So, in terms of like gamemanship, I mean, how do you also participate? Is an aesthetic choice in many ways. So there's a lot of options to choose from, and I would just classify atheism, I guess, in its own category as being another ism. It is, right? I mean, linguistically and comparatively, if you can't accept that, well then, like, you really are a passive aggressive, Sour Patch Kid. That's my thoughts. Some people will just, there's no way to have the debate or get anybody to agree to the, preconditions or post summations, I suppose.
Okay. I have one more thing to read. It's the Mincha prayer for Irav Shabbat.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
Yeah. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his kindness is everlasting. So shall say those redeemed by the Lord, those whom he redeemed from the hand of the oppressor. He gathered them from the lands, from the east and from the west, from north and from the sea. They lost their way to the wilderness. In the wasteland they found no inhabited city. Both hungry and thirsty, their soul languished within them. They cried out to the Lord in their distress. He delivered them from their afflictions. He guided them to the right path to reach an inhabited city. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his kindness and proclaim his wonders to the children of man. For he has satiated a thirsting soul and filled a hungry soul with goodness. Those who sit in darkness and the shadow of death, bound in misery and in chains of iron, for they defied the words of God and spurned the counsel of the Most High. He humbled their heart through suffering. They stumbled and there was none to help. They cried out to the Lord in their distress. He saved them from their afflictions. He brought them out of the darkness and the shadow of death and sundered their bonds. Let him give thanks to the Lord for his kindness and proclaim his wonders to the children of men. For he broke the brass gates and smashed the iron bars. Foolish sinners are afflicted because of their sinful ways and their wrongdoings. Their soul loathes all food, and they reach the gates of death. They cried out to the Lord in their distress. He saved them from their afflictions. He sent forth his command and healed them. He delivered them from their graves. Let him give thanks to the Lord for his kindness and proclaim his wonders to the children of man. Let them offer sacrifices of thanksgiving and joyfully recount his deeds. Those who go down to the sea in ships, who perform tasks in mighty waters. They saw the works of the Lord and his wonders in the deep. He spoke and caused the stormy wind to rise, and it lifted up the waves. They rise to the sky, plunge to the depths. Their souls melt in distress. They reel and stagger like a drunkard. All their skill is to no avail. They cried out to the Lord in their distress, and he brought them out from their calamity. He transformed the storm into stillness, and the waves were quieted. They rejoiced when they were silenced, and he led them to their destination. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his kindness, and proclaim his wonders to the children of man. Let him exalt him in the congregation of the people, and praise him in the assembly of the elders. He turns rivers into deserts, springs of water into parched land, and a fruitful land into salt marsh, because of the wickedness of those who inhabit it. He turns a desert into a lake, arid land into springs of water. He settles the hungry there, and they establish a city of habitation. They sow fields and plants and vineyards which yield fruit and meat. He blesses them, and they multiply greatly, and he does not decrease their cattle. If they sin, they are diminished and cast down. Through oppression, misery, and sorrow, he pours contempt upon distinguished men and causes them to stray in pathless wilderness. He raises the needy from distress and makes their families as numerous as flocks. The upright observe this and rejoice, and all the wicked close their mouth. Let him who is wise bear these in mind, and then the benevolent acts of the Lord will be understood. Elijah opened up his discourse and said, Master of the worlds, you are one, but not in the numerical sense. You are exalted above all the exalted ones, hidden from all the hidden ones. No thought can grasp you at all. You are he who has brought forth 10 garments, and we call them the 10 Sephirot, through which to direct hidden worlds which are not revealed, and revealed worlds. And through them you conceal yourself from man. You are he who binds them together and unites them. Inasmuch as you are within them, whoever separates one from another of these 10 Sephiroth, it is considered as if he had effected a separation in you. These 10 Sephiroth proceed according to their order, one long, one short, and one intermediate. You are he who directs them, but there is no one who directs you, neither above nor below nor from any side. You have made garments for them, from which souls issue forth to man. You have made for them a number of bodies which are called bodies, in comparison with the garments which cover them, and they are described anthropomorphically in the following manner: Chesed, kindness; the right arm, Gevurah, severity, power; the left arm, Tiferet, beauty; the torso, Neshat, eternity, victory; and Hod, splendor; the 2 thighs, Yasod, foundation; the end of the torso and the sign of the Holy Covenant, Malchut, kingship; the mouth, which we call the oral Torah, Chochmah, wisdom; the brain, that is the thought within, Bina, understanding; the heart, by means of which the heart understands; and concerning the latter 2, Sephiroth, it is written, the secrets belong to the Lord our God. The supernal Keter crown is the crown of kingship, concerning which is said, he declares the end from the beginning, and it is the skull upon which the Tiflin are placed. Within them is the name, whose numerical value is 45, spelled thus, I can't spell it, it's in Hebrew, which is the path of Atzilut, emanation, and the watering of the tree of the Sephiroth with its arms and branches, just as the water irrigates a tree, and it grows by that irrigation. Master of the worlds, you are the cause of causes and the producer of effects, who waters the tree through that fountain, and that fountain is as the soul to the body, which is the life of the body. In you, however, there is no similitude or likeness to anything within or without. You have created heaven and earth and brought forth from them the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, and on earth, the tree, the green herbage, the garden of Eden, the grasses, the beasts, the cattle, the fowl, the fish, and mankind, in order to make known through them the supernal realms, how the higher and lower worlds are conducted, and how the higher worlds may be known from the lower. However, there is none who can know you at all. Without you, there is no unity in the higher or lower realms, and you are known as the cause of all and the master of all. Each Sephiroth has a specific name by which the angels are also designated. You, however, have no specific name, for you permeate all the names, and you are the perfection of them all. When you remove yourself from them, all the names remain as a body without a soul. You are wise, but not with a knowable attribute of wisdom. You understand, but not with a knowable attribute of understanding. You have no specific place. You clothe yourself in the Sephiroth, only to make known to mankind your power and strength, and to show them how the world is conducted through law and mercy. For there is righteousness and justice which are dispensed through the deeds of man. Law is Gevurah. Justice is the middle column. Righteousness is the holy Malchut. Kingship. The scales of righteousness are the 2 supports of truth. And measure of righteousness is the sign of the Holy Covenant. All those are to show how the world is conducted, but not that you possess a knowable righteousness, which is law, nor a knowable justice, which is mercy, nor any of these attributes at all. Blessed is God forever. Amen. Amen.
Nice. What was that called?
That was called the Mincha prayer for Erev Shabbat.
Cool. Mincha prayer. Erev Shabbat. What would you say the takeaways are from that?
That we can't take anything away from the sort of perfect being. Like there's nothing that can sort of describe the undescribable, even though he described everything that exists. And like it's sort of using the body and the sort of different constituents that make up the body. It's sort of like a combination, like the Sephiroth, like 10 things. I forget which the 10 things are, but like wisdom, the Holy Torah, which is the mouth. We need to like speak good things. like it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just, I don't want to like shit in, shit out, good in, good out. So like, if you come on this app and you go to these rooms and it's just shit in, like you're just gonna shit out. So I don't understand like why. I mean, we have to force like the ingestion of highly produced materials. I just don't understand. Like books are such a hack to like what we think because if you say it, you're thinking it. And so you're forcing a code written by and published by all these people who did it, quite a long time ago. So it's an awesome thing to do. Let me read one more thing before we continue. If you can find something else you want to read, I say we go like, if you have the time, we could try to create a new room and do a reading room and record that and publish it if you have free time. We don't have to do it now, but I'm telling you, man, let's record audiobooks because I was doing this with other people and we basically stopped doing it. But just like totally like forcing ourselves to like utilize our time to read on this app as opposed to listening to shit in. So
100%. Like I like to, be like a little bit of a troll sometimes, but like it's, like sometimes you need wisdom. So
yeah, it really balances off, I guess. I guess it does create an equilibrium. Like too much wisdom becomes a little bit like, I don't know. But I was laughing because in one of the readings I just did from the book, the word reshit, I was like re-shit. And then it was like the Garden of Nuts. So, I think you can laugh.
Yeah, of course. Like laughter is great medicine. But yeah, like if you want to open up another room, I could like end this recording and then re-record it, like whatever we're reading next. I have free time. I'm going to be heading out to like the butcher shop and getting some steak to cook for the wife for dinner tonight. So maybe like in an hour or two.
Okay, cool. I'm going to create a new house and it's going to be called Reading Books to Each Other. How about reading books to each other? AKA, or then we'll just we'll say book club. Sweet, it has been created. Because sometimes I'll create too many houses and then I can't create a house anymore. But we're in business now. What are you going to get at the butcher shop?
I was thinking maybe like getting some foie de gras and just some piece of steak and some asparagus. Just the classic, steak dinner. But it's gonna be good. I know how to cook it well.
Elon Musk like cooks a buttered steak every night, and then he like sits there and eats it, and then you listen to him eat, and honestly, it's disgusting.
What about like the title of like this new house, the Books Aloud Collective?
No, that sounds like they're policing books. I think the whole point is to just, to demonstrate how we're using our brains, and then hopefully what we're reading is of high value. Let's see. Okay. I think the whole thing is like, we just have to read to each other, and we can all benefit so much more.
Reading voices?
Well, I created a house. It's called Reading Books to Each Other Club. I'm gonna start the room now. Can you dedicate like 5 minutes to this right now? I mean, you don't have to start a new YouTube recording.
No. Like in an hour or two, and I have like a Streamlabs account, which like automatically I can like make a new like stream on YouTube without like having to go onto like the website. It's really cool. So,
Interesting.
yeah, I can just send it. Yeah, it's called Streamlabs. Having a computer is really powerful with like the stuff that you can do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, have a great afternoon. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, this is the first room in the house, Reading Books to Each Other Club. This is the Reading Books to Each Other room by Adrian. It's 1:30 p.m. CST Chicago. And this is going to be a brief room. I'm just going to do a quick reading for a few minutes of some random book. Hopefully somebody will enter the room. And maybe they'll read to me. And then I can get a chain reaction of people reading books. And I can walk away, come back hours later, and people will still be reading books. Wouldn't that be a miracle, Rabbeinu Shalom? A hypnotic chain trance effect is what I would call it. Let's see if we can pull it off. Robert, can you go to the other room and invite some people to the Reading Books to Each Other room? I'm going to end the Zohar book room now. Hi, Daria. How's your day going? Are you free tonight? Okay. Okay. I'm going to create another room. Let me see if I can. No, I guess I can't. I'm going to read sacred texts Thelema, Aleister Crowley, in Magic Thelema Sacred Text House. Okay, this is Adrian Dittman. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. I was gonna say, like, I have the book I Ching with me right now. So.
Oh, good. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I got the same thing. We could do an I Ching, actually.
The I Ching.
I